Hey everybody, Professor Cloud here with our next episode of Professor Builds a Satisfactory. This is now a waiting game. I've said this before, but we're very much at a point where I don't have anything new to do from a building perspective. We can continue to beautify the facilities around the hub, and I have made the decision that once we do wrap up Phase 4, I am going to move the space elevator out of the way just so that we can have better visibility and room for the steel facility, as well as better maneuverability for trucks and things like that. But really there's nothing new to build automation wise. So what I'm going to do is between now when I'm talking to you and when the next time you see me, I will have let the game run for a bit, try to let some stuff collect up so that we can get closer and closer to a Phase 4, and then we'll do some beautification, and maybe we'll do some exploration, because there's still a lot of area of the map, obviously, that I haven't been to yet, that I could go to. I'm not necessarily looking for anything in particular, though. That's the one problem that I have at the moment, is I'm not really searching for anything. I could potentially try and find another uranium source in order to set up nuclear power, but again, I don't really need to. I've got enough to handle the particle accelerator for now. I could go ahead and build the remaining coal power at the waterfall. So there's still small little things here or there, but let me let the game run for a bit, collect up some of the copper powder and turbo motors and things like that we need to collect, and then I'll see you in a few. Okay, here we are back at the hub, and specifically at the manufacturer that has been crafting the turbo motors. I have probably let this game run for about 4 to 6 hours between episodes in order to let some things build up. You'll notice our nuclear pastas are up to 61, but I'm still running into power fluctuation issues. When the particle accelerator hits its max of 1500, there are still times where we're fluctuating enough that we're not able to maintain a 1500 point buffer between our max and our consumption. So what I'm going to need to do is build out the second coal power facility over near the waterfall. We've got the one that's been running for quite some time, but we're going to need to build out a second one. While things have been running, I have gotten the turbo motors completed, and we're ready to make the switch to the rocket propulsions. Thermal rocket propulsions, I think is what they're called. So that's why I put a nice belt here running directly into the space elevator. What we're going to do now is grab each of the parts that we need. I'm going to have to come back and get more modular engines. Okay, so we need 800 cooling systems. We need 250 turbo motors. We need 675 modular engines, sorry. So that's 200. We also need fused modular frames. So let me put a new, actually I'll take this one. We'll put our fused modular frames, of which I've got 148 right now. Oops, that's not what I want. All right, let me take the rest of these first. I've got another 28 or so. All right, so that's 400, 5, 6, 50. So there's 650 modular engines. And then we will use this for the fused modular frames. So that's 150. And this recipe will now switch to thermal propulsion rockets. The modular engines, turbo motors, cooling systems, fused modular frames. I can get rid of this now. So as I said, I'm going to need 250 fuse modular frames. The fuse modular frames are continued to be crafted over at the nitrogen location. They're being a little slower than I would like, so we'll just have to let this run for a bit. A lot of that has to do with the fact that I needed aluminum casings for both remote control units as well as the fuse modular frame, so I had to prioritize which one made sense. You'll notice I'm not making any more nuclear pastas, and that's primarily because of the power fluctuations. I am still making advanced director systems, and you can see we've added another 50 there. We're up to 300 out of 500, but they are still really slow. I've made a couple of very small minor adjustments over there to increase, because what seemed to be the bottleneck was the lack of cables. So I did add some power, what are they called? These things, the power shards, into a couple of facilities over there in order to increase the number of cables that were being produced, and that's helped. But the power fluctuations have also slowed things down. So what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the waterfall. We're going to build that out, and I'm going to tell you about what I've been planning for once we finally complete Phase 4. I also want to point out I've put in some more windows on the front. I've also put in some windows along the side. I'm still not sure yet what I'm going to do along the rest of the side. And then we still have to, and actually we'll do this right now while we can. Let's go ahead and finish the walls here. Oh, that's right. I've got to do... Yeah, this will be quick and easy. Okay, good. Nice and tight to the ground. There was one spot over on the other side that I think I need to do the same thing. Yep, right there. Okay, so there's that done. Now, let's go ahead and head over to the waterfall facility. You'll see I already have everything set up in my to-do list to get that moving forward. And I have all the parts in my personal inventory. Now, what I've been thinking about for Phase 5 is once we get it unlocked, I am one facility at a time going to set each one of them up for a very specific set of parts, pretty much like they are now, but we're going to start from scratch with each one of them and set them all up to be as efficient as possible. So one of the things that I've learned in kind of running around trying to get things done before my next recording is that there were certain low-level parts that are just not working efficiently. So I mentioned cables. The cables only need... Well, the cables come from copper wire. But copper wire, of course, comes from copper ingots. Well, the ore is coming out at, let's say, 120 or 240 per minute, depending upon the purity of the vein. That's great. But if we're not handling the copper ingots fast enough, okay, then we need to speed those up. Well, that didn't seem to be the issue. The issue seemed to be that the copper wire was actually not spitting out fast enough to be able to create the cables at the optimal production. So I went ahead and put in power shards. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Into the copper facility, into the copper wire constructors, so that it would increase, and it was able to do so without any problem because of, you know, these guys just get stuck all the time. All the time. So I was able to do that because the copper wire still had more efficiency to get out of it, or more optimalness, if you will. Okay, so I've got 4 set up. So my problem is going to be the water. I'm already using as much water out of here as I can. I'm probably going to need to delete all of this and recreate it down that side so that I can get water from that part of the lake. Because I don't think there's enough water in this side of the lake to give me what I need. Of course, the problem with that is we've also got a down ship over there. Huh. Okay, how am I going to make this work? I've already emptied the down ship. So I don't know where the enemies are that are trying to, the animals are that are trying to protect it. I mean, I could run the coal right along this way. Yeah, and then if we set up Alright, let me go take a look and see how big the other one has to be. Yeah, we're going to get rid of every bit of this. Whoa, nope, 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 nope. Okay. Okay. And you. Okay. So, let's now figure this out. Alright, that's a miner Mark II. Producing 240 a minute. So 120 per side. See, I only need half of that. Because each one of them takes 15, which is a total of 60 for 4, 120 for 8. Well, it is what it is. I mean, I guess what I can do is I can limit it by making these Mark II belts. Alright, so thankfully I don't have that hooked up yet. Alright, let's leave it like that for now. I need to go and size up how much flooring I need. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 8 by 6 is what I need. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's what I need width-wise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, let's try that. Okay. Alright, let's fill it in. Okay, so there's that. Now let's go ahead and get everything laid down. We're going to run the coal right through the middle to make it easy on ourselves. So okay, let me start with just one. Man, these things are jumpy. Okay. That's good. So the question's now going to be, do I want to run all of it down the center or split? I think I want to split it. I think it'll be cleaner this way. Okay. Okay, why is it not... Alright, I need to get up. Except I can't find the freaking ladders. Okay. Alright, so there's those. Oop. One too many. Looks like I may have even done one row too many. Well, I'm going to leave it for now until after I get everything situated. That one I could probably slide closer. Oh, it's okay. Whatever. Okay, now then. Oh, hold on a minute. Is there going to be enough space for piping? Just barely. Okay, yeah, we're okay. I was a little worried there for a second. Actually, this one I learned my lesson. All right, let me worry about that one in a minute. Okay. Okay. All right, so that one is now good to receive water. Well, okay, I'm wrong. I'll have to figure out this last one in a little while. Okay, so that's done. All right, let's do the same thing here. Okay. is not nearly as easy to do on the ground. For some reason. No idea why. And one or more of you might be going, Brian, why are you doing this? Or only 600 more units of power? Because that guaranteed 600 units of power, there's no fluctuation with coal as long as the water supply stays good, which is always a key problem for me, apparently, means that we can make sure that we always maintain more than a 1,500 point buffer to allow the particle accelerator to work. That's the big reasoning. And there's a lot of deep water here, it looks like. So I'm going to be really interested to see if we can maintain this. I actually, you know what? I think I'm actually going to run... Alright, I have an idea of how I'm going to do the water. And I'm going to actually use... I know I've been saying that it's not good to put too many splitters when it comes to water. But if you're feeding from both sides, which is what my plan currently is, I think I can get away with it. Okay, now let's get the coal running in, then we'll do the water. Alright, so the belt's there. I am still amazed that I do not see anything trying to protect that. Let me make sure I've got something out. Yeah, there is nothing out here protecting this. Based on every other one that we've unlocked, even after we've cleared them, the enemies have still been around. Huh. Well, in either case, I'm going to be glad when we can make the split. Okay, let's... I think what I'm going to do is put a splitter here. Like that. And then let's go up one. Yep. Okay. Now we need to figure out how to do the same thing for this side. Oh, good. The game actually did me good there. Alright, so that gets us all the coal. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and turn on the coal miner so that we can actually see it working. And some of you might be going, but Brian, this coal miner will actually handle 240. You're right, it will, but I can't extract enough water to handle 8 more coal generators. So I'm actually in a situation where both of my coal miners right now are being underutilized. And it's primarily because I'm limited by water. And I'm bottlenecking it using Mark II belts which can only handle 120 per minute, even though the miner can actually shoot out 240. All right, where's my power? Right there. Okay, so that'll start flowing here soon. Now let's get water. So my plan for water is, even though supposedly I can get away with 3, I'm going to go with 4. I'm going to put 2 on this side and have them both go into either side. And I'm going to go 1 onto either side, and then I'm going to put 1 on either side for the other side as well. So, we need water extractors, production. I just hope I have enough to make this work. Alright, I'll just have to hope that I can swim there. Alright, I think I'm going to do this. Okay. Now I'm going to need... I haven't even gotten to power over here yet. Actually, you know what? Let's do power right now. I'm going to need another power tower. Okay. All right. Okay, now I need to put... I'm going to have to put pumps. I think that's logistics. Yeah, pipeline pump. Okay. Alright, that's one side. Now what I'm going to want is another Mark II down here. Whoa. Do the same thing. And actually, let me put one more right there and do it this way. There we go. That way this can be used for the generators and this can be used for the water. Okay, now for the water here, I think what I'm going to do is go one here. Okay. Okay. And then this one, I'm going to need a place to... We'll put you there. Okay. Ah. Okay, now, same thing, we need pumps. Okay. This is excellent. It's already full of water. It's half full of coal. Full of water, full of coal. Let's check the other end. Yeah, we can turn all this on. This is excellent. Yeah, this is excellent. Let me see how much is in here. 8.7. Yeah, this is excellent. I finally feel like I may have this working. Okay, now we just need to bring online. Oops. Why is that not a Mark II? Alright, I'm not a big fan of how the cabling is, but it's okay. I can live with it. Alright, so for power here, first of all, I'm going to change this into a Mark I, because I don't need it to be a Mark II. Then what I'm going to do is put a Mark II... like right here. Beautiful. That is beautiful. Now, I can absolutely hear Satisfactory players screaming at me that this was overkill from a water perspective, and they're right. It is. But it also guarantees the water flow. I'm so unhappy with the way that water has been designed in this game that I just want to cover my bases. I want to make sure that we don't have a problem. Now, here's the other piece of this. I have enough headroom now to where if I could figure out how to get more water out of either, I could probably do it over there. So I could probably put 8 more over there and change all of this belting to 240 and then split 120 of it over to that side while keeping 120 here. I could absolutely do that, and that would allow me to get, and actually I'm not even sure I would need to do it along this wall. I could probably do it right here along this outcropping or hill, whatever you want to call it. So we absolutely have room for another 600 there. If we could figure out something on this side, we could also do another 600 over here. So for guaranteed power, we still have some growth. Now, let's go take a quick look at a power pole. Okay. So we're now over 5,000 with consumption being 22,000 even, up to 28. Low end being 46. So that's 1,800 in available gap. So I think we can go back and can turn on the particle accelerator. And as I said, if I need to do more, I can, because I have an extra 1,200 in headroom. And by the way, guys, one of the biggest reasons that I'm doing this, and I'm sure some of you are going, well, Brian, you found that uranium deposit. You can set up nuclear power. Commenters have told me that it's more trouble than it's worth. But like oil, it is not guaranteed flow. It has runoff, nuclear waste. So if you're not constantly handling the nuclear waste, then you're going to have issues with respect to maintaining consistent power flow. And that has been my biggest problem during Phase 4, is consistent power flow. All right, here's what we're going to do. We are going to head back. I want to stop at... What is that? Okay, it's just a grouping of rocks. Okay. I want to pick up some more copper powder and aluminum casings. So we're going to do that. I just got to figure out how to get there quickly. Oh, I'm probably going to have to run across. Yeah. Let me make sure I don't get run over by my own truck. Oh, there are two. Okay, so there's that one back there, and then there's this one back, this one up here. I wonder if I've actually cleared both of them. Well, we should be able to see. if there's stuff on the ground, and I don't see anything on the ground. Yeah, so we must have absolutely cleared both of them. Also want to see how many more advanced director systems are available for me to pick up. I doubt that there's another 50. 22, yeah. They are just super, super slow. Whereas we've gotten 60 of the thermal propulsion rockets. Alright, good. But I'm probably gonna have to do another. I would almost bet 2 to 4 hours worth of playing in between episodes that I don't record, because it's just going to be bringing up the game and letting it run. I just want to make the content for you all as interesting as I can. Alright, we're going to make a quick trip back to the fused modular frames, drop off the aluminum casings, and we're going to come back, drop off the copper powder. And then we'll take a look and see what I have in my inventory before calling it for this episode. By the way, if you'll remember, I think a couple of episodes ago, I was really struggling again with the water supply after we increased the coal power down here. And it looks like that has been resolved. I have flown by here many times, and there has usually been no more than 1 or 2 that are flashing yellow, meaning that they're out of water for a little bit, but none of them that are red. So they're definitely getting enough water now. It's just not consistent flow is my biggest problem. All right, let's see. That, and that. Oh, wow. I've got a crap ton of coal here. Let me see how many of these I've got now. Alright, well, there's another 50. So that'll put us at 200. And I need another 50. So all I need is another 50. Alright, let me see. This should be full. It is. Oh. Well, I could do the same thing. Okay, I think part of the problem here... I wonder if I... That's 30. 54. I bet that might make a difference. Well, I'll have to check to see another time. Alright. Another problem for another day. Yeah, I really want to redo, especially the steel production. All of these production facilities to make them more efficient. Copper is another one that I absolutely want to make more efficient, because copper, for some reason, and I didn't realize this, I was not making it very efficient at all. The other thing, I also want to move the space elevator. Alright, so let me put you in there. I think we can now power you up successfully. Thermal propulsion rockets are working. Oops. This is what I wanted. I think I still have some modular engines in here. And I've got more cooling systems for that matter. I don't think I'm going to need them, but... Okay, yeah, we've already got another nuclear pasta in there, so that's good. Yeah, we're in good shape. Alright, let's head over to the hub and discuss what is next. So first of all, let me drop some stuff off here. Like, you know, leaves, wood. Ooh, no, I don't, no, that was fuel. Wood. Let me drop off these individuals. I've got more coal than I know what to do with. Oh, I forgot to put the modular frames, fuse modular frames, into their storage. There we go. Definitely not getting rid of the computers that are in my inventory. In addition, by redoing all of the initial facilities, once we know what kind of stuff we're going to need for Phase 5, and I'm guessing it's going to be a mixture of a lot of stuff, we'll be able to kind of put things together in the right way, like put things close together in the right way. Whereas, like, if you go over to the facility, the iron production facility over there, it is just a mismatch of everything. And I think we can find better ways to do it, especially once we get some of the Phase 5 upgrades, whatever those might happen to be. In the next episode, I will have let the game run for another couple, 2-3 hours to get thermal propulsion rockets and nuclear pastas closer to finished, advanced director systems closer to finished. And what I want to do is I want to move the space elevator, and I want to fix, see, another thing that I really want to do is fix wiring. Let me get away from the noise. One of the things I found, I had a power tower up there feeding to the top floor of the iron facility there, and the minute I removed it, it of course cut off power to the quick wire facility over there, which also feeds into the geothermal, as well as the power up at the waterfall. So what I want to do is move the space elevator out onto the edge, and then run from this particular power tower to probably a power tower right here, and then to there, and then remove this one altogether. That way we can kind of situate maybe a second iron facility or a second piece to the iron facility, something like that. I don't know yet, obviously, but I want to have this area open to me, whereas right now it hasn't been. If I can move this out of the way, say to right here, and I'll build flooring for it and everything, then we could actually extend the steel facility out this way rather than having to go up, which might allow us to feed copper in if necessary. In any case, just a lot of ideas that are running through my head, things that I will enjoy doing in the coming episodes. So with that, I'm going to wrap the episode up here. As always, if you've been enjoying the content, please make sure to hit that like, subscribe, or comment button, and hopefully I will see you in the next episode. We're getting close, y'all. I swear to God, we're getting close. See you soon.